Good morning, beautiful beings. Are you a woman or a man who wants to be less reactive in life? Be open to a person in a relationship, to end continuous abusive and negative cycles, to open your heart again and be in a loving relationship? Well, then this message is from you. My name is Phoenix Martin. I'm your messenger of love today, your guide to personal freedom, expansion and peace. Now, the topic I put on this video, some part of me is expecting to get attacked. I'm not saying I will, but there's just something not quite right about that. And I want you to hear me out. I've worked with many women to heal their trauma, sexual abuse, work through things to get into a state so they can be in a loving relationship that they want to be in, what they really want. I've worked with men too to overcome and heal their trauma, the little boy inside, and what they want. So I'm here to support you. I want you to know that. I'm going to share everything that I know with you. Yeah. And first I want to touch on this term masculine and feminine, which people incorrectly assume. I want you to know that inside every single one of us is masculine and feminine energy, and it has nothing to do with gender. And it's really important that we integrate those energies because they start off as immature, just like a child does, and they need to mature masculine and feminine energy. And masculine energy is that energy that is coming, it's got a direction. It's got a purpose to it. It's got an agenda to it. It's a force that moves forward. And the feminine energy within me is the part of me that wants to feel and soften and be open and receive. And so it doesn't matter your gender, but whether or not you're a man or woman, it's so important to be able to have a direction and have belief and move forward and know what you want, but also be able to listen and receive and be in a relationship to receive another person. And there is a psychology that is happening to us no matter what gender you are, which is we start off as codependent. We rely on our parents to nurture. As a man, I rely on my mum to nurture me and feed me and my dad to guide me. There is a codependency. And when I start to go through teenagerhood, or even 20s, we start to become independent. And this is where the trauma begins. Because for many women, they realize the world is set up against them becoming independent. The patriarchy. And this goes back to understanding what happened in our history in the system is that women were in power in the beginning. They have the power. But what happened was they didn't have a strong masculine energy to hold that power to men who became scared in fear of women in power. And so what the men did is take that over and use that and abuse that and create the patriarchy to serve them because they were so scared. But inside of the patriarchy, no one wins. Women are disempowered and oppressed, and men are just living in the fear, trying to keep everything under control, but they're actually just really scared and suppressing their own needs, and then no one's needs get met. And this independence, this mainstream feminist movement is showing that women are done with this. They want to step into their power again. And so they're becoming independent. They're bringing masculine energy to say, I want change. I want to bring my power forward. I've had enough. And the men's work that's happened since maybe the 60s, the hippie days of men become more feminine, become more emotional. That's been happening. Men are tapping into their sensitivity. But in both parts, there's something missing. Which is when women are stepping into this masculine energy and they're like, I want this and da-da-da-da, can be susceptible to losing that feminine sensitivity. Because they need to be that to compete, or ask the demands for what they want with the male-run energy world. And then men are losing themselves because they're being told to become sensitive and emotional, so they become more emotional, but they're not getting what they want. Men and women are not getting what they want in relationships. They say, I want a sensitive man. But their actions and behavior get something else. They don't go for the sensitive man. Men are saying, I want a powerful woman. but then they can't even meet a powerful woman where they're at because it's too scary, it's too unknown, because they're disempowered within themselves. And so we have to come right around to this cycle and close the cycle. And this is in the psychology. We are codependent as children. We become independent to serve ourselves, so we don't need our parents anymore. The next stage in evolution is interdependence. Interdependence. Where I'm now an independent being, I can make money for myself, I can feed myself, I can have my house, I can meet my own needs, and now I'm ready to open myself up to be vulnerable, to realize I can't do this alone. I'm not going to just be a proud, independent man or woman that does it all myself and holds it all together and carries all the stress of the world and is secretly like being independent and fighting the world, but really inside my heart is not open and I'm not getting my needs met because I'm not with the partner of my dreams. It's the next stage of evolution, and this requires vulnerability. This requires a man to go say, I need women in my life who are empowered. And for women to go, I'm independent and I need empowered men in my life. Because we offer different energies. It doesn't matter your gender, your preferences, your identity. There are just different energies that are within us that we all need. And I'm going to be the first to say, I need empowered women in my life. To show me an example of what it's like to relate with an empowered woman. To see what it's like in my own reflection and how I navigate that. To show me that it exists to be safe. Safe to be myself in all aspects of my life, that it is safe. We need role models on either side to show us it's safe, and this comes back to, at the end of the day, self-love. To know when we've got triggers, know when we've got hardness, and come back to self-love, to loving those energies within us, the masculine and feminine. And the amount of women I've spoken to that have had to go away for a year and not be in a relationship so they can teach their own masculine to hold their own feminine, to hold themselves. So when they're in a room, no people please, and go, I'm leaving this room now, and tell everyone that straight. That is their masculine energy holding their feminine energy in their power. And men, we need to do this work too, to hold that feminine in ourselves so we're not pulling on it in a relationship from someone else. And so I'm all for mainstream feminism, women stepping into their masculine energy. But I know so many women that have been in those spaces and left because they feel like there is trauma perpetrating in there. And we all have a lot of trauma. The fact you were born a man or a woman and you go through teenagehood, the trauma is just there because of the societal conditioning and the patriarchy. And so there becomes a point when we found our independence and our own power that we need to open to the other gender. Open to the other energies, if you want to use that term, and support each other. And there are so many incredible empowered women in my life showing me the way. And men, integrated empowered men, we need to do the same. Because we need each other to integrate all those parts of us. The women in my life show me nurturing touch and emotional energy that men just can't provide me. And the divine masculine, this is to the men, is to hold presence, hold deep presence for the women in our lives so they are seen, heard, felt, and empowered. So blessings, blessings, blessings. May you all be peace and love and abundance. Let's go.